Welcome to Faro Training. This video will show you an overview of opening viewing windows in Scene 5.0. This video is the first in a series of 3. This one is the overview. The next 2 will look in more depth at selection and navigation tools in Planar and Quick View and 3D and Correspondence View. By the end of this video, you should be able to list each view that is available, differentiate between single scan views, multiple scan views, and structure view. You should also be able to arrange them as tabs or windows. This will allow you to effectively choose the correct view for a particular task and prepare you to learn about selection and navigation tools. Our first topic will be types of views, and then we will go into Scene and I will demonstrate opening viewing screens and arranging them. The types of views are Quick View, Planar View, 3D View, Correspondence View, and Structure View. There are pros and cons to each type of view, and some are better for different applications than others. Some views will allow the display of multiple scans at once, while others will only accommodate the display of a single scan. Different navigation tools, such as rotating, panning, or fly-through, are available in different types of scans. Selection of points in order to crop, filter, or create objects is possible in most views, but the way they behave and which selectors you can use are different. These capabilities will be discussed in this and the next videos. Planar View and Quick View are both single scan views. You can only see one scan at a time. For this reason, these are the views you will use to identify registration objects before compiling them as a complete point cloud. Also, when you look at them, you will always be looking from the perspective of the scanner. 3D View and Correspondence View can display a single scan or multiple scans at once. 3D View is where you can look at your merged point cloud and is a good place to measure objects or crop out unwanted data from the entire project. Correspondence View lights up each scan in a different color. Seeing it like that can help you decide if each scan is placed in the right position, and you can manually drag them around if they are not. The Structure View is simply the panel that contains the file structure of the workspace. Most of the commands to open view screens are accessed through this panel. Okay, now going into Scene. Right now, I've got one cluster, the scan folder, with 2 scans in it. None of them are loaded, because I don't have the green box next to it. When you load a scan, it brings the points into active memory. You don't want to have too many loaded at once or you'll run out of space. So it's a good idea to unload them if you're not actually using a scan. When I want to open a planar view, I can do that whether it's loaded or unloaded. I'll right-click on it and go to View, Planar View. If it's not loaded, I'm going to get this loading icon. It will load in the data and then the display will appear. This one is a planar view. A quick view is very similar. I can either right-click on it and go to View, Quick View, or I could double-click on it. A display will appear immediately, but then it will keep on loading. So it doesn't need to be loaded for the display to appear. It does need to finish loading, which it just did there, before you can actually manipulate the points. So that is what a quick view looks like. Now with a 3D view, I can open a 3D view from a single scan or from the scan folder. I'm going to right-click on 002, go to View, 3D View. I now have a 3D view of one single scan. Here it is. I can also open a 3D view of the entire cluster. I'll right-click on the scan folder and go View, 3D View. Now I have a view of both scans put together. If I select on one or select on the other, that scan will light up in yellow so you can see what points make up part of the overall view. Also, if I unload one of these, you'll see it just disappear from the view. The panel will still be here even if you unload all of them, and if you load it back in, it will just reappear again. Now if I unloaded 002, which I had a planar view up on, the whole planar view would just disappear. I could also hit the 3D button. That would bring up a 3D view of the entire workspace, or if you had a project point cloud, it would bring up a 3D view of the project point cloud. Now you can see I can flip back and forth between my different views, which are in tabs right now. I could also go up to View and uncheck Tabbed Documents, and then they're going to be in separate boxes that I can move and rearrange as I want. I could also go to Windows, tell them to cascade, or tile horizontally and tile vertically. This can be pretty useful when you're trying to identify your registration objects so you could match them in each scan. Now I'll just get rid of those again for a second. And I will unload these scans. Okay, when I open a correspondence view, I can only open it from a scan folder. So I'm going to right-click on the scan folder and go to View, Correspondence View. It's going to prompt me to load the scans in. But it also gives me an opportunity to load them in at reduced resolution. This is a good idea. If you loaded them all in at full resolution, if you had a lot of scans, you'd probably run out of room. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it 20 million points per scan, and tell it yes. It'll load those in. While it's loading, you'll see the icons over here again. And instead of being a green square, it'll be a half green and half black square to show that it's in reduced resolution. And here I've got one scan in red and one scan in orange. Could also move these around if I wanted to. But there will be another video that goes over correspondence view in more detail. So today we covered the types of views that exist, differentiated between single scan, multiple scan, and structure views, and shown you how to open and arrange view tabs. You should now be ready to learn how to make selections and navigate in those views. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.